Bucky, you want to talk about the start and then what changed?
They started making shots. We turned the ball over and led to some of their fast break points. We had some lapses in transition defense. We were mixing up man and zone, trying to do different things on made and miss shots, something we get really good at by the end of the year. Unfortunately, it's not the end of the year. A couple times we have a couple guys in man and a couple guys in zone on missed shots, and it hurt us. And so they got loose in transition, and that got their run going. But eventually they made some threes, and it kind of opened the game. They're tough, obviously got a size advantage, so you're caught in that dilemma all the time about, do you double the post and, not let them score at the rim, or do you trap the post and they're going to be open from three. They hadn't shot the three great, so we chose to trap the post, and late they banged in a couple when it mattered.
They've been doing a lot of work this year at the foul line. Is that something that you were trying to keep them off?
Yeah, we had some bad fouls. They were shot, they shoot 90-something% from the line, right at it, 87. So, they were great from the line, and they're tough because obviously they have size and they play tough. So you're trying to play without fouling, but their physicality, if you don't have some fouls, they're going to offensive rebound you to death, which is what they're known for.
Wondering about the early part of the second half, over here to your right. Wondering about the early part of the second half where your team was starting to get down a little bit. It seemed like there was the little back and forth between was it Brown and Holloman. It seemed like there was an energy that you guys kind of found again. I guess wondering how you guys were able to regenerate that spunk there at the end.
Yeah. We always want to play with an edge. Obviously, we don't want to cross the line. We don't want technical fouls or anything like that. Our guys are tough. We play kind of a in-your-face style of defense no matter who we play. So, that's what I like about Julian. He doesn't back down. He's a New Jersey kid. He's not going to back down from anybody. And I would say that was one of the strengths of our team is they believe that they can play with anybody. And I think you saw that. They're going to go toe-to-toe, and they got to believe that they can physically play with anybody. Now we got to get to the point where we can mentally play with anybody, and not make mistakes and be as tight as we can be as the season goes along.
Just talk to me a little bit about what Jaden Akins did to give that zone defense for you guys problems tonight, and what a player of his caliber adds to a team like Michigan State, and how difficult it is to face a player like that.
Yeah, they got a bunch of good players. They're actually a hard team to zone. Speaking of it, Izzo, it should be the Iz zone. He's great with zone offense, so they run some good stuff. And so it's difficult. Well, obviously, we try to throw them off balance, pressing back to our zone so they couldn't just walk right into a play. And, you can only hold them at the base so long. One thing that I thought our guys did a great job on, even in the zone, in this game, we didn't get out rebounded. It was 30-30. That usually doesn't happen when you're playing Michigan State. Dang sure doesn't happen for a mid-major. And so our guys showed a lot of heart, because that's the biggest thing that can kill your zone is just offensive rebounds over and over. And our guys fought, and they would rebound the basketball.
Looks like you have a holiday tournament coming up that you host. What are the opportunities and challenges for holiday tournaments in college basketball, and what do you see as their place in the game?
Well, you get a lot of games in a short amount of time, right? We're playing more games now than we were years ago. I know the players would rather play games, that's for sure, And so our deal is just we want to get better every game. We got all new guys. We got a point guard who played last year, then everybody else that's returner was a freshman. So, we're young, inexperienced group right now. So I think our ceiling is up there. We can get really good. Every game we got to get better. That's the key. I do want to say this, I mentioned this last year. We played a team. It's very hard for us to find games and get a game like this. And so we appreciate Coach Izzo agreeing to play the game, because it helps our program tremendously. And our guys got a lot better for it, but it also helps our program on the financial side as well. So we just really want to thank Michigan State for playing this game, because when you can't find many people to do it, we're appreciative of a coach that gave us an opportunity to come here and play.
Bucky, for a game like this, you call him. How does it work? How do you get it set up?
Well, our athletic director, Martin Newton, he knows everybody in this world that relates to basketball. And so he made the call, and we got the game. But it was difficult. It's difficult to schedule these days, all the analytics. So it kind of takes a coach that, isn't afraid to play, and that's Coach Izzo. He's not afraid to play anybody.
Do you find a lot of major college teams don't want to play someone's won back-to-back conference championships?
Yeah, it's just the analytics are so different that they really need to play games that shows analytically that they can win by. Guaranteed they can walk in here and sleepwalk and win by a lot, As you know, I think the reason why Coach Izzo's teams are so good when it matters, because basketball, as we know, is a tournament sport, is that he focuses on long game always, and that's why they keep getting better. They keep playing in wars, and they focus on long game, and they know that it matters most in March. And that's why he's been one of the best coaches to ever coach a game. He keeps his eyes on what matters.
Over here to your right, you talked about the kind of mental mistakes and things in the game, but I noticed in your style of basketball, the pace you guys play with, the pressure, you're forcing opponents to make those mistakes. And I'm curious, where did you develop that style of basketball that you've coached for your players?
We just want to find the most fun way to win, and we want to create a lot of possessions in a game so that guys felt like when they played a game, whether they played 5 minutes, it felt like they played 10. They played 20 minutes, it felt like they played 40 minutes. And, we're in Alabama, obviously, and I grew up in Alabama. And I don't think it's good enough just to play a style that just wins. I think you have to play a style that everyone can rally around. And in our state, we're one of the top scoring teams in the country with the fastest pace in the country. That does a lot in Alabama. Y'all may not understand that because if you come down there, it's football, football, football. But if you come to a Samford game, you're going to see a lot of points scored, and that's what we want. And guess what that does? That is a long-term play too, right? Because now you're scoring a lot of points, players are getting better, you can play more guys. So now when they come back the next year, these freshmen have some experience. Recruits come to the game. The fans are there in Alabama because they want to see some points scored. So we're thinking long game with that. When I played basketball, it was a good deal when I played high school where a point guard may take, 1 or 2 shots a game. You may play in the 40s. And I always said if I coach, man, we're going to find the most fun way to win. And so that's what we try to do.
You mentioned the long game. Last year, you guys took Kansas deep, and this team obviously played Kansas a couple days ago. How do these games, especially in November, when you talk about that long game, when does this show up? When do you feel like this really shows up for a team when they're tested at this early in the season?
Well, you kind of find out your weaknesses. If you just play a weak schedule, you don't find out your weaknesses till it's too late, right? And if you play teams that maybe are talented teams but are not well coached, you really don't find out where we are weak, even as a coach. Like, okay, here's where we got to get better. But you're playing against a very talented team with a great coach, so they're going to expose the things we got to get better at. And you'd rather do it early than late. I know versus Kansas, we had learned a lot. We played Purdue last year early and got smoked, and we learned a lot from that game. And so that when we were able to play Kansas at the end of the year, we were significantly better, and we're probably play away from being right there to win the game. So we'll take this tape and we'll learn from the things that, hey, we got to do better. And the next one, I think we play Arizona in another big game in December. Hopefully, I'm not saying we're going to win, we're going to lose, but hopefully we correct those mistakes.